गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. So today we look at or we contemplate on that is the self or can the self be known by some sort of means, and those means by which we assess the world, do those means remain valid when we want to know the truth, when we want to know the atman, the self? And they are helpful, they are useful when we are referring to the conditioned self. But when it comes to the unconditioned consciousness, that is our essential nature, and we make, when we are discussing, when we are talking, when we are contemplating, if we make that conditioned consciousness as the object of discussion, these 6 pramanas, they become invalid. The unconditioned consciousness, they are invalid. For the conditioned conscious also, they are invalid. They cannot prove, and we'll see what they are. And this is told by the scriptures so that we are very clear that no means are employed to know the truth, because you are that, tattvamasi. You are already that. So in that, the first pramana comes the pratyaksha pramana. And in the pratyaksha pramana, we see every object. First, we'll see how we assess the world. Every object that is perceived has 5 aspects. They are asti, bhati, priya, nama, roop. This comes from the Drigdrishya Vivek. And the first 3, asti, bhati, priya, they are the Paramatma Tattva. Satchidanand is coming as asti, isness, bhati, knowingness, and priya, likability, enjoyability, etc., etc. And the other 2, name and form, they are the jagat. Name and form, nama, roop, they are the jagat. And in this, if we are able to drop the name and form, remember again the 5, asti, bhati, priya, this is the reality, nama, roop. If we drop these 2, what remains is Paramatma. And what is our whole life? An obsession with name and form, whether it is past, present, or future. So we need to drop that. And in this way, the name and form are not the essence. They are the non-essence. They are the non-essentials, and therefore, uh, 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 the asti bhati priya are with reference to the consciousness, and nama rupa are not with the consciousness. They are the changing. Asti bhati priya is the constant. Every object is known, every object is priya. See, but when we now what, remember, this is how we move through the world. Now world means thoughts. Now what is the thought in your mind? I. So what is the name and form of the I? The capital I with apostrophe. That is the form. That is the thought. Thought is the form. So that thought also, asti bhati priya nama rupa. And we start imagining very grossly that I is the body. We have seen that in Panchadashi. I is the virtual I. Virtual I is father, mother, daughter, sister. The illusory I is I am the body. And actual I is other than. When asti bhati priya nama roop, if you remove the nama roop, name and form, what remains behind is the absolute I. So understand this way. The second pramana is the anumana pramana, inferential knowledge. Even the Paramatma is the primordial cause of the sprout of the world. Jagat Ankura Hetave. Jagat came from the Paramatma, and we can infer the presence of the Paramatma. We can infer the presence from his manifestation. And what is his manifestation? The world. So when we are looking at the world, we can think that there must be a reason behind it, there must be a cause behind it. It cannot come from nothing. I cannot come from nothing. There must be a cause behind me, my parents. This table cannot come from nothing. The cause behind it is the wood. The smoke cannot come from nothing. Even though I can't see this fire, but the moment I see the fire, there must be a smoke. There must be, when the moment I see the smoke, I know there must be a fire there. Similarly, when I see this world, immediately my attention goes that there must be a great power which is the cause of this whole manifestation, the cause of this whole creation. Anumana pramana. Then third comes, we are not talking about that we have come to know the truth, but we can suspect that there must be a great power to realize the great world, behind the great world. Small world, my body. There is a cause, parents. Great body, the whole world, there must be a cause behind that. Next, pramana. There are 6 pramanas. Remember, we have done 2, pratyaksha pramana and anumana pramana. Now we come to the third, the shabda pramana. It is only because of this pramana that one is able to communicate about the Paramatma. Without this word, I cannot talk to you about it, you cannot listen to me, you cannot read the books, etc., etc. And therefore, the Mahavakyas like Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, the Ayam Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma get transmitted from the mouth of the Guru Maharaj to the ear of the seeker. And the oneness between the individuality and the infinity is established through the word. If there is no word, how will you communicate it? And thus, through these words, through the word, the unity is established. So jiva is essentially part and parcel of Ishvara. There is no separate jiva from the Ishvara. Just like a wave is part and parcel of the ocean. It is not separate from the ocean. Exactly the same way, this is the unity. And when for that, what do we have to do in the Shabda Praman? Just as the individuality is because of the individual conditionings, and totality is because of the total conditionings. The wave is having a particular form, that is why it is called a wave. Therefore, it is the conditioning of the water, the individual conditioning of the water. Similarly, individual conditioning of this consciousness, that individual conditioning is this Panchakoshas. Similarly, there is a Ishvara. Ishvara also has a conditioning at the totality level. So when the conditionings, what were the conditionings? Name and form. Again, when the name and form is dropped, the consciousness that the jiva is and the consciousness that the Ishvara is both become one. When the conditioning of the house, for example, in this house where I'm staying, there are about 7-8 rooms. Why do we call them rooms? Because there is a conditioning of the walls. When the conditioning of the wall is dropped, then all the room spaces become one huge space within the house. There is no division. Automatically, all we have to drop is break the wall. So same way, when we drop the wall of conditioning of name and form for the individuality and the totality through inquiry, then the consciousness that is within, that is the essence, it was always one, but now you see it to be, you realize it to be the one, that I am that one. And in this way, the Shabda Praman is useful as much as the conditioned consciousness is concerned. Shabda Praman becomes null and void at the absolute level. At the relative level, the creation is Samashti and Vyashti. Samashti is the Ishvara, the total, and Vyashti is the individual. And therefore, we drop the conditionings and come to recognize that there is only one consciousness and nothing else apart from that. Now we come to the fourth Pramana. The fourth Pramana is Upamana Pramana. Upamana Pramana means knowledge by comparison. Upama. And what is this Pramana? The Paramatma is compared, here example is taken that of space. Paramatma is compared with space. I just did that in the room example. And as space is here, what is the angle of approach? Just as the space is untouched by all the other 4 elements, air, fire, water, earth, so also Paramatma is untouched by anything else. This is also, but understand that when we are explaining this, we are explaining through the conditioning, and it is not by thinking like this. You are saying, yeah, space is accommodating everything, but it is untouched by what it is accommodating. Paramatma is everything. Paramatma is expressing through everything as existence, consciousness, and bliss, but is untouched by the conditionings through which it is expressing, just like space. So we take the example of the space and and relate Paramatma with it, and this is called that as the Upamana Pramana. Fifth is the Arthapatti Pramana. Arthapatti Pramana is the cause and effect relationship. Huh? If there is creation, that is the effect, there must be a creator, the cause. Huh? Cause and effect. If there is a wave, there must be a cause. There must be an ocean. If there is an ornament, there must be a cause, the gold. If there is a child, there must be parents. It's Arthapatti. And in this, there must be a creator. Thus, by looking at the world, we give the status to a status of cause. And this is what we do normally. कि भगवान की वजह से पूरी सृष्टि आई है. Because of the Lord, the whole creation has come about. And we say God is the material form of the creation and God is the efficient form of the creation. Upadana Karan and Nimitta Karan. So again, this is only at the relative level, cause and effect. In the absolute, there is no cause and effect. But when we are talking, we have to see that that when we see the world, because our whole life, if I eat, my hunger is satiated. If I sleep, I am refreshed. Everywhere there is cause and effect. Similarly, when I see the world, there must be a cause of the world, and that cause, I have said it as, we accept it as God or X factor or whatever name we want to give it. But we have to understand that this God, who is He? It is not the cause like father and mother and the child popped out. No, He is the material out of which the whole creation is created, and He Himself created the creation with that material called Himself. That is the Arthapatti Pramana. And now the last one is Anupalabdhi Pramana. Anupalabdhi Pramana, that in whose presence the whole world disappears, is Paramatma. So not only the world is created and maintained, but it disappears. So can we catch Him when the world is expressing? Very quickly our attention is hijacked by the names and forms, whether we are in waking or in dream. So here it is talking about that in whose presence are we able to keep ourselves awake to the phenomena of waking, dream and deep sleep? Or by default we wake up, and by default we become the waker, by default we go to dream, and by default we become the dreamer, and by default the sleep comes and we become the sleeper. And this is going on. If you keep thinking like this, nothing is going to change in life. Then what is that? Who is that who knows that the whole creation of waking and dream has become, has disappeared, has become unmanifest? This is a way of contemplation. That in whose presence the whole creation becomes unmanifest, disappears from its expression, that is Paramatma. And you cannot look for that answer outside. You are that answer. In this way, the 6 authorities of knowledge can be used with reference to the conditioned consciousness, but not with reference to the pure self. Conditioned consciousness, as we said before, appears at 2 levels, the individual and the total. Vyashti, the individual, Samashti, the total. Recognize this, and when we take these pramanas, the maximum we can get to is the Lord. When we can get to is the Ishvara. Maximum we can get to is the Hiranyagarbha. We have to go beyond. So, therefore, when we are talking about the pure self, the, the six means become invalid, but they are valid enough. They are good to sort out the world. So, contemplate on this, that when you are sitting in meditation, are we employing any of these six in order to know the self, or we are accepting ourselves to be the self without any thought? Hari Om. Sit straight wherever you are with a cool mind, without any thoughts of past or future. And what we have just now talked about, elaborated, talked about the six means, recognize this is how our mind works. By these six means, we assess the world, individual and total. Am I the one in whose presence the individual and total appear and disappear? Then who am I? I am other than the individual and the total. I am the presence. That presence itself is the truth. I am the eternal presence, which has never come and gone. It's the constant.